This is the Leatherman Juice S2. I think Leatherman should bring this back. It was a great tool then, and it could be a great tool now. Today, we're looking at the Leatherman Juice S2, one of my favorite Leathermans of all time. We're going old school. This is Multi-Tool Monday, where we look at multi-tools both from the past and current, and we look at mostly Leathermans, but also many of their competitors. And once again, today we're looking at this wonderful Juice S2. This is one of my favorite Leathermans of all time. I understand why they took it off the market, but I also think they should bring it back with a few changes, and I think it would sell very well. But before we get into that, let's get into the basics of the Leatherman Juice S2. Oops. While this is putting up, I think the Leatherman Juice S2 came on the market, I think around 2006, and went off the market maybe 12 years, 13 years later after that. Let's see here. It's 123 grams. For its size, it's okay. The length here is about 3¼ inches or 1/3 inches. You have about a 4½ ounce tool that's 130 some odd grams. Let me do this again. I want to make sure. 124 grams, 4½ ounces, if I remember correctly. 4.4 1/3 ounce. As I stated, this one has been well used by me, but I haven't used it recently. So when I took it out, I noticed that it was pretty darn stiff. This is the S2 because this is an older one and discontinued model. I want to talk about what its competitors would be today. And I have a few out here. Probably the most well-known competitor would be the SOG Power Pint. The heads on this are great. Another competitor would be the Roxxon M2. It's got okay pliers, has fantastic scissors on it. Let me get out the scissors here. That's another big competitor. I'm going through the competitors first. I usually save that for last because this is an older model and I'm talking about what it would take to bring it back so that what some of its competitors would be. On the other end, you get this next tool, Sailor, pliers wise, and this next tool, Mini Flagship, with pliers and scissors. Those are some of its competitors if they were to bring it back. All of these are in the about $25 to $35 range. They're well liked by a number of people. One thing that they did here was that they made so many versions of juice, it was hard for people to figure it out. They saw, in my mind, Leatherman was trying to compete with Victorinox rather than trying to get a couple of versions of the juice out there that were good, which is what I think all the previous companies have figured out, is that do like 1 or 2 versions, don't do 6 different versions. For instance, this juice CS4 corkscrew, not needed at all on a juice. People just said, well, I'm going to compare this to Victorinox. The Victorinox had pretty much everything on it but the pliers. They would pick the Victorinox somewhat out of habit, but somewhat out of that the Victorinox had all these other things, like the awl and the scissors, in a much better standard of quality and much better usage. The Juice S4 was one of the ones that if they should have said CS4, they should have said, we're not going to make any of them with any kind of corkscrews. That would have been the best thing that they could have done. I'm going to get back to the Juice S2, and now I'm going to go through a few of the things. First, let's start off with the needle nose pliers. They're actually very functional. There has functional steel. These are has any of the other ones that I saw earlier that I put earlier, with probably the exception of the SOG Power Pint. I think that that's going to be a better head than this one, but it's going to be really competitive. I like the way that they sort of narrow this down at the front end. It doesn't have to be to a big point. It just has to be able to be a way that it sort of touches so that you can get something up off the ground with. And the pliers are going to be steady. They have some ergonomic things that they can fix. One is that these edges tend to be a little sharp, like and this one on this side here. When you're squeezing down tightly, you have to be careful because you can feel the edges. The wire cutters are fine. This is a small device. You don't need great wire cutters, but they do work well. You can actually do a little bit of crimping in the middle here. That's the ones that you see there. Let's go to some things that are on the outside. This knife, when it came out of the box, it was very good. It hasn't been sharpened recently, so I'm not sure how sharp it is now, but it is the right size. When you want to compare that knife to, let's say, the knife that's on the Power Pint, let me pull one of those out. Which side the Power Pint? Oh, here it is. It's a much more it is a larger and more robust knife than on the Power Pint. Here's a knife that's on the Roxanne, and you can look at that. It's more robust than that knife is, and it's also longer. A little bit longer reach would be fantastic to have. So there's all that potential of just a much better knife on those two, like this one, and I really like it. It works really well, and it can cut many things. It is a slip joint, so it doesn't lock. One of the things that they may want to do is improve that lock, or leave it a slip joint too. I mean, this is a small knife. I'm not sure locking is necessary, although I think in like a couple of years, the expectation is that all knives are going to be locking inside the U.S. For like international though, it can just be a slip joint. Here's the bottle cap opener and can opener. I think that you can improve that. You can just rip off what's in like something like the Wingman, or even you can put a double one on here, similar to what you have on the next tool. They could do something like you would see on this next tool, which is you have a can opener, bottle opener is the same thing. It's close to the same size. It's not exactly the same size, but it's darn close to the same size that they can make it in. There on that one. Then the other thing is, although that's okay, this has to be out. I like these scissors here, but they can use significant improvement. There's nothing very proprietary on using Swiss Army knife scissors, or even scissors that you can see on some of the next tool products, or that are good. I know that they're in a different location and in a different way, but let me just show you the size of them comparatively. The sizes of the ones on here are larger, but you can make these smaller and more ergonomic, and also a little sharper for people. This has to close back up in here, and then you close this in here, because of the way that this is built. It'd be great if you can pull out one or the other. On the other side here, there's nothing here that you can get to or that you want to get to, so that means everything else is on the inside. And please forgive me, like I said, that these are a little stiffer than normal. Let's start on this size. there are these three items here, and they're staggered. I don't know if you can see staggered 1, 2, 3. It would be great if the nail nicks were either a little bit more prevalent or the same across. But you pull this out, and right here you get a screwdriver. It can also be a little bit of a scraper, but it's mostly a screwdriver here. This is your small mini screwdriver. You may want to use it as puncturing a hole in much the same way that you might want to use an awl. And then the third one is also another screwdriver scraper. Now, there's no need for all three of these here. Easily one of them can take the place of a scissors, or one of them can take the place of a much nicer awl. Or leave one of them out. Two would be okay here, given if they worked well. And on the other side, you have your Phillips. And this is actually a nice Phillips. It works well. It's not a flat one, so it is a number, I think it's like a number 2 Phillips here. And that works great. It is actually excellent Phillips. The one thing here, and I'm going to use another tool to get it out. I'm trying to figure out which one I'm going to use here. Let me pull this out here. And I'm going to use the corkscrew, which is the only thing that I think is ever good. But there's actually a little lanyard piece in here. I don't know if you can see that here. But it's one of the things that it's hard to get out. And so you almost always need to have a third tool to pull it out. There we go. But it's okay if you plan to keep it out the whole time. It makes sense. Most people are probably not going to carry this on a keychain. They may carry it on a wallet, but it's really made to fit in a small pouch. Like I said, these here do have a very strong locking mechanism. Be aware of that. They aren't fully locked, but it's a fairly strong one. The other thing that they can do to improve this is to make these able to be screwed on or off. I think if you did that, people would mod these things up. I am not a modder of, I don't mod my sacks, I don't mod my Leathermans, but these can be really modded up by changing scales, by actually adding things to them, if you were able to do them like you could do with other Leathermans. And that would make this a great tool to have. I'm going to quickly review. This is the Juice S2. I want them to bring it back. The changes are to basically put screws here and here so that you can take these off, Matt. You could change things around. You can make it more to like your liking. You could look at changing this out, getting a little bit better scissors on it. You can even take out one of the screwdrivers on this side and have two, and then keeping the Phillips here. And this makes it a good walking, talking, mini Leatherman piece. So you could fit it in something like, everyone knows I like these zero fuel things. You could fit it in there pretty easily. So now you would have it, oh, I just cut myself. You can put it on here, in here, without any problem in carrying it with any other things that you would want to have, or other pouches. You also could possibly, I haven't tried this, but it looks like they have, Night Eyes has these hip clips that people put on their sacks. And it looks like that you probably can put one of those on here. I don't know why you would want to do it, but you could. Now, who would this be for? This would be for your everyday carry for like professionals, possibly students, individuals, urban professionals, people who really are into Leatherman. And this could be a really good entrance to Leatherman piece. Now, pricing wise, I think with the improvements that I did, that they should price it somewhere in true Leatherman style, somewhere around $55, like $54.99. Now, you're going to be getting $20 more than this, double the 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 prices of the other ones. But if you can get this to $50, I think with Leatherman, and I even think that you could back off on like your 25-year guarantee to make it 10 years, this would sell. Don't do like this with the corkscrew. Don't do it with 20 items. Just do it with 7 or 8 or possibly 9 very good tools. People would like that. If you look online, I just looked on eBay, people are buying these used in the $60 to $100 category. I don't get it. I don't understand it. I have bought some used ones on eBay, this one right here, but people do that, and people have some disposable money. I will in the future do reviews of all 5 of these, but I wanted to do the Leatherman Juice S2 first because I would like for Leatherman to bring it back. This is Haku EDC. If you want some more multi-tool Mondays, like, subscribe. See you in the future.